Hello and welcome to the hospital wing of the Coliseum. That's right, I'm putting us back in the original time.
Dang.
Yeah. This is the part of the show where they've kind of run out of ideas and it starts to get a little bit like unbound from reality.
Yeah.
So this is like
When they decided to go through the Feywild, I was like, that was a choice.
Zoom is not gonna like that laugh that I just did. So yeah, speaking of the Feywild, it's our last season of it, and we'll start there. Oh shit, do the operating table real quick.
The operating table.
Okay, you can delete the comment that you were we did it.
That I was writing in the future.
Yeah. Spring.
Yeah,
Not
kind of
what
a
I was
spooky
expecting.
spring.
Not what I was expecting.
Not what I was expecting either.
I was expecting a good time. Let me be clear, I had a good time, but I was expecting like, oh yeah, we go to spring. I truly, really was expecting like, hey, I know you're the eldest daughter, and like it's gotta be nice. Like I was expecting family therapy of like really gonna like convince this person to like come out, and then we got there and it was like, guess what, idiots? You're in a void. People are being sucked into the water, and I was like, oh, I guess this is like family therapy in a way.
Yeah.
Truly,
do we need to get you family therapy for whatever family therapy is going on?
No.
What did you
think,
Maya?
Maya?
Oh, I was gonna say, truly, it had barely ever occurred to me that was spring until like partway through the episode, halfway there, I'm like, oh, we're not leaving this, are we? I thought this was just like a fun little tunnel that we were gonna exit into. Which is why I was always so confused when I was just like, so can we just like get out? I'm like, no, like what are you talking about? This is just a tunnel.
My favorite operating table fact is whenever Maya starts off by saying, here's this thing that I did not realize until halfway through or until the episode was over.
Yeah. I just felt like we kind of had that experience in summer of
I
the
agree.
bright, colorful, happy place with the family therapy. I think there will be a little bit of family therapy at the end of this.
Oh, for sure.
But when I wanted to differentiate it, the first thing I thought of was bioluminescence. I don't know why, but that was that felt very spring to me.
Fair
I feel
enough.
like underwater and spring don't get enough contact together.
That's true. If we had just stuck our little heads under the water, we would have seen a complete like spring situation, probably.
Girl,
they're all getting sucked down into like a really nice. They get some little drinks, they little umbrellas.
Yeah, oh, that's where I'll stop for legal reasons.
Disney lore comes through and kicks you in the head.
But yeah, so that was really fun, and I think what was very interesting, this whole episode was kind of a mystery, but I think what was fun was like, okay, we know that something is fucked up here. We know that the elves are like kind of ruined and stuff, but there was this fun ambiguity for a while where I was like, is Tria doing this?
Mm-hmm.
And that was a fun ambiguity of like, is Tria doing this or is there something here? Because again, like for a second, I could logically think of like, I could think of reasons why maybe like this child would be like feeling this way or like making these things happen, like maybe there's stuff going on this year. And so the turn of realizing like, oh no, something else is going on was very fun, but it was nice to be in that ambiguity for a while of like, fuck, who's the bad thing.
There was a point in time where I thought Tria was one of the hags.
Gotcha.
I figured out pretty early that it was probably hags, and that's just because I've used hags a lot in D&D, so I know the telltale signs, which sounds
this
cliche.
was personal.
I know a hag when I see one.
Personal vengeance on my part against Clayton Currie, who has terrorized me with hags on multiple occasions.
I've also been terrorized by hags.
I thought it was an experience with hags.
They're fun.
If your loved one has been terrorized by hags, please, you are entitled to compensation.
It's fun to do all the tricky, like the voice calling from out in the darkness and the snow, the simulacrum. of Arya.
Yeah. Well, and that was so. Oh yeah, she was crazy. I can't believe I interrogated a child. Because at that point, and I think I'm, we're filming this later, so I'm a bit fuzzy on the timeline. But Sarah, who edited that episode, talked about this moment. Texted us about it. Is William Peña says the imposter is now in control, and everyone loses it. It's such a good textbook example of like not keeping calm during a
Well, it was so much fun because I messaged you all your role the night before, I think. So everyone knew this was on the table, but I'd also explicitly told you guys not to talk about it.
We all knew it was coming and we were all waiting for something, and then you said that and we were like, oh, okay, we can talk about this now. Let's freak out for a second.
The game is afoot. Yeah,
the game was immediately
Thanksgiving party, and I just happened to glance down at my phone, and I out loud amongst my coworkers went, "Holy shit!" Went, are you good? And I went, "Yeah."
Oh God! Did I yell at you for that, Will?
I don't think so. Not like
no, because it was late.
Yeah.
Will and I we are roommates, and as roommates, I am wont to receive a text about Sorcerous from William and yell at him through the walls.
Bring it into the mortal realm.
You're so lucky you weren't rooming with me, motherfucker. If you had sent that text to me and we were living within the same walls, I don't care what time it is. I'm so sorry, Lauren. Hey, what was that about? But yeah, and so this is where I feel like we all have to give a big huge hand to Maya for being said imposter.
Thank you. I was like freaking out immediately. I was like typing on on the thing to Will in the secret chat, like immediately. So
yeah,
it's always
Clayton,
I'll go. It's fun because like you've played games like that before. I've played Among Us with Maya, and I've played it with everyone in Sorcerers and like those kind of games. So I was like, okay, I feel like I know the tricks that some of these people would use in like actual Among Us. I know if Sarah's just hard accusing a bunch of people, then she's definitely the imposter. It never crossed my mind that it was you, Maya. Never.
Yeah, and I think because there's something to be said, and I can't remember when I talked about it, but like it's one thing because I texted Will later and I went, why was I so bad at that? Because I think I'm good at Among Us. I think I'm good at, I really love lying games and I love like figuring things out games, but it's so different when you slap a character on top of it, where it's like it's not just straight like this is the gameplay, this is the mechanic, these are your goals. You're doing it all, and then you're adding feelings on top of that. And so I will echo Clayton in that not once was it ever going to be Avalon, and I talk about this kind of in the episode, and quite literally you can see me come to devastating realizations on film. I look so sad because I was sitting there like, fuck, I did not realize that coming into this, Marcus would not think it was Avalon at any point. Like, until shit got really weird, it was never going to be Avalon. And that sucked. Because it was.
Was there anything in particular, Maya, that you did to kind of give a tell, to kind of let people on at all? It seemed like you were going pretty straight. Go for it.
There was a couple of things, and by a couple I mean not very much at all. I was just kind of straight lying, and then the funny part is I'm actually really bad at Among Us and really bad at just like bluffing games in general. So I was pretty pumped that
you are a very good
turned
actress.
out okay. I'm very bad at Among Us. But I tried to, as soon as it hits, to go like the first thing I say when the imposter takes over, was a little bit more aggressive and sharper than how she talks now, maybe closer to how she used to talk. And then Will and I made eye contact, as you can in Zoom. Maybe we didn't, but I felt it in my heart that we did. And and then so mostly it was that and trying to be very anti whatever idea that the Sorcies had.
Yeah,
which was also just a confusing time. So I feel like it was stuff that had like plausible deniability. And then once we got further in, and it was and things were popping off, and the full one was the just kill him and just kill her. And now that was the full clue.
I love
as well as
Hypnotic
all the
Pattern.
spells that I casted. But
I thought that was so much fun, Hypnotic Pattern, because I think that's a very Avalon spell that you've used on many occasions to fuck me over. But being able to have it on my side for a second was
yeah.
Here, I will say a few things. Number one, both of those things that you mentioned, Maya, I want to let you know that just because it didn't occur to people in moment, literally as soon as the episode ended, I was thinking back on it and I'm like, what did Avalon do differently? She was a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more get going, like, let's get going, let's get moving. And she was like, whatever the kind of consensus was, she'd throw something in that was anti-consensus. I literally was like, fuck, damn it. Those are so like, you did those things really well. I just love and trust you kind of innately. So
yeah.
But
and
yeah,
that's
and
what we
it's so
wanted
funny
to play on.
because I think I mentioned it in the episode that it's Hypnotic Pattern, and you like literally I was like, fuck, the goo like has our spells. Like the goo like can like once again it was not. And then I ask you and you shake your little head, and that is the first moment that Riley went, oh.
Yeah, I was so
something
surprised
feels
that you
bad.
didn't say anything after
It was
that.
literally because I was sitting there like, and I didn't know this. I didn't know this until it was happening. That if Marcus asks you, "Is it you?" and you, Avalon, say no, it's not me. I took that, and I was like, oh, but yeah, no, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Something that really interested me on the second watch through when I was kind of scanning through it, was because of Gaius's recent change in Winter, and some of those character ramifications, he also became a large target for accusations.
Yeah.
And I think that's why some of like Avalon's aggression didn't immediately like raise as many flags, because Gaius was also a little bit more intense.
I just want to say thank you so much, Clayton.
Hey,
really helped.
You're welcome.
Me.
It was totally intentional, and
Second imposter.
I just love the chaos of being a little suspicious, and that's definitely what I was going for. And I wasn't reeling in what to do and resorting to Gaius's apparent instinct, which is violence.
You want to get more into that, bud? You want to get more into that statement?
I mean, sure. There's been a couple points in the campaign. I think specifically, I mean, Lepidus was like the big first one where playing Gaius, my instinct was stop them, and stopping them doesn't have a limit.
Interesting.
So it was like, when Gaius is put under pressure, it is, okay, is this person a threat? Stop them. And if that means I pull a sword out and start slashing,
start steel wind striking.
Yeah, because even when you were like fully like hot, like when you were threatening them, but the moment we all got like bounced back, which again, by the way, Jesus Christ, Maya, great move.
Oh yeah, thank you.
We all get bounced back, and it was just Gaius alone. It was one of those things where one half of my brain was like, okay, it's probably not Gaius, because Gaius like straight up looks like he's going to knife these people. But also there was a part of me that was like, is this when the act drops? Is this when like everybody else is shouting and we go, All right, besties. Great job. We're doing
played.
awesome.
Great job.
Any
Great job.
notes?
Yeah, any notes
for
before they
me?
get back? I can hear them running.
Here, hit me in the face, make it look good.
Yeah.
That's
But yeah, which
Oh.
I will say I will kind of move backwards for a moment into like because we found Tria. It was very fun to use What I Deserve. I will again applaud Clayton for that spell because it's very cool and I like it very much. And it's so sick and you did a really good job with it. And it was really fun. I've been wanting to use it. And then I looked at the little locate creature spell and I was like, well,
If there's a time.
literally like if there's a time to find this child. Plus it was nice, it gave us a direction. Because it's always like and this happens in D&D no matter what campaign you're playing, what the plot is, it's always like finding that balance between like having enough like back and forth and different options to like have, again, I guess just different options to do, but also then you don't want to get too caught up in the like, oh, we don't really know where to go or what to do, and so we're kind of in this like middle place for all. So it felt nice to just be like, okay, you know what, let's find Tria and let's know exactly where to go for that and then go from there.
Yeah.
And then the hags, I would like to talk about those bitches for a moment, because what the fuck, like what are they like, are they just assholes? Why are they with the goo?
They are. Oh, it's so hard because this is not over yet. We haven't recorded.
Yeah, you don't have to
yet.
tell me anything, but that was definitely, I can't remember if we talked about it in episode or if this was an off conversation. It is interesting to see more actual people working with the goo, and that's a very alarming thing.
Yes. Yeah. That the main reason I think for them, like the inciting as like a writer DM perspective, is to roll us back into the prime material plane storyline and the what's happening with Regulus and everything there. So that was kind of the tie-in.
One of them was a night hag, correct? You don't have to answer, but
I don't. It's hard because I kind of made 3 hags with like the base like ability scores and HP of I think green hag, sea hag, bear hag. But then I gave them kind of, instead of like a coven spell list, they had access to like the layer actions and to some of the special abilities of the other ones.
Gotcha.
For example, what Maya was, what Avalon was, and what Arya was is the Sea Hag's ability to make a simulacrum. Although this one's more realistic than the Sea Hags. A little detail that I want to share real fast, as Maya and I were talking about what the simulacrum is and what it like shares. It knows factual information about Avalon, and the only thing outside of that is that it knows what Avalon dreams about. And that is that.
What does Avalon dream about?
Does it potentially start
Wouldn't
with
you like
A
to know,
and
Weather
end
Boy?
I
with
would like to know.
Augustus?
What?
I said, does it start with A and end with
Listen, we could talk about Passion Plane Augustus later. We could talk about that after the mid-smoke break.
But yeah, as for what they're actually doing, I do want to hold back on that.
For sure. It was just that was really interesting to like. It also just sucks because it's one of those things of like, you're her family. Again, like that was something that like me and Marcus were both sitting there like, fuck you guys. Like, you are supposed to be protecting this girl. Like, she is your sister's daughter or your brother's daughter. Like, she's your like it's an interesting, like, again, the theme of family kind of running in it, and it feels gross and evil that like these people were doing that to her.
Yeah.
That I think that's good. It gives us a good villains. And then I'm trying to think, I didn't mark down when we started, so we're just doing this on the fly. But the I love the little werewolf things about Gaius. I did want to mention those, the little like fangs and stuff. I'm always a fan of little fangs and things like that.
I love little.
And I guess can I ask Will, because there were kind of a lot of ways that we went about trying to figure this out and stuff like that. Were there any that like either you weren't expecting or that you really liked or that jumped out to you? Like, I'm just curious from your perspective of like, you've set the plan in motion, you're watching us react to it.
The one that really scared me was Emil casting Detect Magic.
Oh, interesting.
And if honestly, if it hadn't been for the fact that we already established that the sorcerers themselves glow with a little bit of innate magic, that might have just screwed it all up.
Yeah.
But it was able to disguise it pretty well enough. And also, I think they rolled poorly on some kind of Arcana check that they made, and so it even like diminished it more than that because of the layer effects.
Yeah.
So that one really spooked me. Circle of Truth, so much fun. Whenever that spell comes up in any campaign, is just a blast.
Absolutely.
I will say, Zone of Truth.
Speak the truth.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Yeah. Go ahead, Maya.
I was gonna say, Zone of Truth scared me. It scared me. And first of all, it was so fun that I was the last one to go. And right before me, Clayton, you had like a whole monologue to how you were gonna kill the hags. I'm like, this is it. They're not gonna get to me. We're just gonna go. And this is perfect. And then it's, once again, thank you, Clayton.
Or even like the way Sarah decided who to do the sending to. You were last in that original motion, and I was like, yes.
I know, me too. And then I poked her, I grabbed her, and then I teleported her.
Subtle spell. Subtle
spell is so good.
Finally, well, it's so fun to get to use it, because Will, you even said like, oh, did you just get subtle spell? I'm like, no, I've had her. We're always in positions that are already fucked.
Yeah. Me and like, what 2 years ago now, making this campaign was like, subtle spell is going to be the shit in this campaign. It's like, this is going to be political. It is going to be intrigue. And it just never turned out.
And then we just killed the president. Yeah.
We don't need to be subtle if we just do the thing.
If you just spell.
We just speed run the campaign.
I will say, for a second, I was really truly like, Will sent everybody a text that says you're not the imposter. I get it. I am the smartest person alive. I understand themes, motifs, and narratives. I understand that the goo is an entity of fear and of paranoia. And what better than to make us all turn on each other for no good reason? And then the hag went, no, it's one of you. And I went, okay, cool.
Oh no. Oh, what's this? It's Avalon with the emotional blind spot.
Yeah.
The hags were fun because they're very straightforward, and they get to act straightforward to you guys, but their motives are inscrutable and Great Old One like, although they do have like one driving motive. And one roleplay moment for me as the hags was, I think Cleo was like, just tell us who it is, I'll figure it out anyways. And the main hag leans in and goes, then figure it out.
We were trying. I need you to know that we were trying really hard. Okay. We were using spells, we were using things, but it was very scary, and everybody was a little stressed.
Yeah. What a little moment I want to go back to. It wasn't a big moment, but I thought it was fun. Was the little fairy picking Gaius up and just flying up into the sky. And we got to play just a minute for a minute.
Yeah, that was fun. I always love mechanical like things in world.
And then you guys
remember that.
Get they got it pretty fast.
Killing the fairy.
Yeah, you got like 20 feet up, took 2d6 fall damage. And then there's a red cap over there that I don't think you actually ended up going to. It was like the weird purple glow. Was a red cap washing his hat in blood.
Oh, don't do
Oh,
that.
I don't remember that.
That's not washing, King.
That's dying
That'll work.
in 2 ways.
I think there was a couple other little like random encounters you could have noted, but,
Interesting.
I think that's when you cast locate creature. And yeah.
Work. I've once again misplaced my giant kazoo. I'm so sorry. And so we're just gonna what is song if not the spoken word? Is what I've always said. It's the mid-operation smoke break. Cigarettes weren't invented, so just drink, I guess, is the equivalent in ancient Rome.
They probably had
Yeah.
tobacco.
We'll look it up. We'll
spoke
take
some
a
stuff.
But today, kind of in line with the idea of imposturing and truths and untruths, we've got 2 truths and a lie today. Just a real fun one. So we've each got 2 truths and 1 lie for our characters. Will, who have you decided today? I'd like to know.
I mean, you and Maya are here, so I had to do Augustus.
Yes, I was so excited. No Master Cicero today.
Oh, that's such a good idea, though.
So I will just is somebody inclined to start us off today?
I have mine written down if you'd like me to
Go off.
So 2 truths and a lie about Augustus. Augustus is allergic to figs but doesn't know it. Augustus
That's true.
Augustus has performed in a play. And Augustus has talked to Avalon in disguise before.
You better shut the fuck up about that one. What's that about?
Augustus has talked to Avalon, and Avalon did not know it.
That's kind of hot, but I think that's a lie.
Oh, that's dangerous.
I want that one to be
lie
true.
because I so deeply want the other ones to be true.
Thing is, I want that one to be true.
What was the second one? He was in a play.
He was in a play.
I bet he wasn't in a play. I bet he was in like a staged reading.
Okay, that's my answer's locked in.
I'm gonna go. The third one is the lie.
Play.
The play is the lie.
I think I don't know.
We got 2 out of 3 are right. Augustus has never talked to Avalon in disguise before.
Because you know why? Because I trust him. I'm like, he's a he's a good man. He's a good man.
This game is fun for me because as I can just decide what is true and what is lies, and in like a very broad sense. Like one of my truths for a little bit, and I thought Sarah might get mad at me, was that, and I think Maya might get mad at me too, was that Augustus and Madigan had kissed before.
I always thought there were some vibes. I'll be honest. It's okay. He can kiss whoever he wants.
But it's not. It's not true. It's not. I decided it was
I've
not
kissed
true.
his brother. It's fine.
I feel like that's not true, but like now knowing this, there has to be one time where they like looked at each other at the library and they were like, wonderful.
Augustus is allergic to figs but doesn't know it. In the way that he eats figs and like doesn't die.
Oh, like the potato sweats.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I love figs, but I hate the way they sting your mouth when you eat them. And people are
exactly.
Sorry, what? So what was that, Augustus?
Yeah.
They do what?
The moment you said that, I was like, I know that that's true. So
that has to be true. And now he has to eat a fig on camera.
Dude, Regulus is gonna feed him a fig and he's gonna die, and we're not gonna have an EpiPen. And I'm gonna be like, this sucks.
We have Cleo. Cleo's got cast EpiPen.
True.
Cleo is EpiPen.
Power word EpiPen. I can go next.
Go for it.
Okay. Marcus is an Aries. Marcus has skinny dipped in a wealthy patron's like basin, like the home like basin thing. Marcus is canonically Lucifer in 1AU.
Like are we talking Lucifer like the devil from the Bible?
Lucifer from the Bible, yes.
Can I ask a follow-up question for the second one?
Sure.
Has Marcus ever gotten drunk at a party?
That's for you to decide.
Ah, god damn it.
Decide, Clayton.
So Marcus is an Aries. Marcus is skinny dipped in a pool. Marcus is canonically Lucifer.
I'm gonna go. Marcus's Aries is the lie because I have no more information to go off of than that, and so the other ones sound fun.
Work.
I'm gonna go. Oh, this is gonna bite me in the ass if I look it up in the Discord. I'm not gonna do it because that's cheating. But like, if I look it up afterwards and I prove myself wrong, I'm gonna go. I think Lucifer is the lie. I know there's a Lucifer AU somewhere, unless I'm like Lucifer the show.
There's a for sure a Good Omens AU.
There's a Good Omens AU.
You're right. So I'm gonna go with Lucifer. I don't think Marcus is Lucifer.
Mimi?
The first one, Aries.
Yes, Marcus is a Taurus.
I
He was born in May. He's a little spring baby. Yeah.
Give us the skinny about the skinny.
Because I was thinking about, because like this is something that like we start the story with 12 years, not 12 years. Marcus is 37. No, about like a decade into like resentment, and like we start with a Marcus post fall from fame.
Yeah.
So we have like gotten a jaded Marcus who is slowly like thawing out. But at some point, Marcus was 25 to 27 in Imperium and was like in the scene and was one of the like hottest fucking like artists that you could commission and shit. And yeah, I think a 26-year-old Marcus like definitely got drunk and like just fucking skinny dipped in a basin. And like honestly, good for him, King.
Yeah.
It's quite fun.
He is Lucifer in the Good Omens AU, which is different because the Good Omens AU, which, fun fact, Sarah and I have both never watched the show. We've never watched the show. We haven't read the books. Is there a Good Omens AU? Yes, of course there is. Good.
It's a good show. You should watch it.
Thank you. I don't know why I said thank you so much. The demon in that one is Crowley. But we went with like
Crowley from Supernatural?
Yes.
He's also a
real boy. But yeah, we went with Lucifer because Marcus gets kicked out of Eden and falls from heaven. Yeah, we'll talk later. And then so that's it.
After I said the Lucifer thing was a lie, my brain was like, yeah, because I know I was doing math of like Marcus as like the ultimate villain. That's not like Riley's style, but it was the fall from grace right after. I was like, I already put it in.
Jim Doug loves falls from graces. Meyer Clayton?
Would you like to? I have mine.
Please go.
Okay. Gaius has a huge sweet tooth.
Okay.
Gaius has broken over a dozen bones.
Okay.
Gaius's favorite sport is wrestling.
I don't think Gaius's favorite sport is wrestling.
Yeah, that's the lie.
Well, I'm gonna do huge sweet tooth just to be contrarian.
Favorite sport is the lie. It is his favorite sport is not wrestling. That is what he's predominantly known for. Words. But that is not his favorite sport. His favorite sport is rock climbing.
I knew it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I love that. Good for him, his little sweet tooth. That's very cute.
That was one of the first things I ever wrote down about him. I was like, vices. He really loves sweet tarts.
That's so
not the candy, like
Roman.
We gotta get more food in this campaign, guys. We gotta eat more.
It's been a while since you guys
Will mentioned like
eaten.
True. Yeah, this is when we become a really hardcore like survival D&D group that's like, all right, everybody keep track of your rations. Nobody's told me that they pissed, so I assume that you're just all dead.
Sounds like a really fun campaign to me, honestly.
Mimi, bring us home.
Yes, I will. But I will say one of the thing about the rations was it never occurred to me that we'd have to ration. Just like I would like for us to have sweet tarts and very, very like finger foods, like rich people
Yeah.
food is what I was like thinking about. And to bring us home with Avalon, who also thinks that. We all right. Avalon used to be vegetarian. Prior to the campaign, she had never broken a bone. I would say that she's never broken a bone. However, I'm unsure about how damage works. So I'm just gonna say prior to the campaign. And then she does not know how to sew.
What was the first one?
Yeah, I remember the first one.
She used to be vegetarian.
Used to be vegetarian. Doesn't know how to sew. Huh.
She
Had not broken a bone.
wait.
She has broken a bone. She did used to be vegetarian. So the last one, which is
That's the thing is I think you got taught how to sew.
Doesn't know how to sew.
she does not.
Doesn't
She does know how to sew.
Fuck, this
That's
is
a lie.
hard. I think the vegetarian one is a lie.
Could you say the phrasing of the sewing one? Avalon does not know how to sew?
Yes, correct.
I think that's true. I don't. Rich people.
Yeah, but she's a woman.
Oh goodness. I'm gonna go. Oh god, sewing, broken a bone. I think broken a bone. I think
Oh,
that,
so this is our first one where we're all
All
different.
three different ones. Who's right?
What's up?
I think Avalon has broken a bone.
Avalon has broken a bone before, so
Yeah.
Clayton is right.
Oh,
God,
That just-
yes,
it
yeah.
felt. It felt.
She
Damn.
does not know how to sew. She knows how to embroider, but she does not know how to sew.
Okay.
Because,
Yeah.
because anything that ever broke, they just got a new one immediately.
That's-
Clayton was exactly right. Rich people.
I feel like I do
Um,
remember you saying in the show that she used to be vegetarian. I feel like that's like a canonical.
Is it really? I thought I just wrote it down and then took it out. She was going to be vegetarian when we started the campaign, actually.
Gotcha.
And then I just cut it out.
Amila's vegetarian, right? I think
I
they
don't
are.
remember.
I think Amila's vegetarian.
But
we do have a three-way. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. We do have a three-way tie. Will, is there an NPC that you want to real quick, just on the fly, give us?
Oh shoot!
You don't have to. We can share the
Yeah,
victory.
I'll do Madigan because we brought her up earlier.
Work.
Could do welcome. That could be fun.
Welcome has existed
Welcome's
for
been
like
alive for like 2 weeks.
less than a month.
Yeah. What are two true things and one lie about her?
Madigan technically has more sword training than Augustus. Or has Madigan has held the sword for longer than Augustus has.
Okay.
believe
That's a
that.
more accurate way of putting it.
Yeah, that's correct.
Um
What's the lie, Will?
Madigan, what else about Madigan? She died for a while.
That one's true.
That one's
Okay,
true.
what's the
I
last
was
one?
there for that.
What's the last one?
The last one, Madigan has like one of those like little bone nubs sticking out of her tailbone. Like she's got like a prehensile tail that like is not there anymore.
Mhm.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What was the second one?
She died.
She died.
Are we going with that?
Yeah.
I think that the last one is a lie.
I think the last one's a lie. Will could just make this canon and rock our.
The first one's a lie.
Gotcha. The last one is a lie.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew it.
awesome.
I knew it. I just wanted to be
Clayton
different.
and I will share the victory.
Yeah, there you go.
It would be fun if she did though. Maybe I should have switched it around.
That has been the smoke break. We're just clapping. Great performance, everybody. Wonderful. And yeah, we'll head straight back into it with I'll just say like Avalon, kind of picking up in the timeline, Avalon gets revealed. Again, my heart breaks. And then we get the doors.
Yeah.
The doors.
Wait, can I ask one real quick thing about the imposter? Would pressing the sword, like the flaming sword, I know we did like the temperature around it to see if it melted. Would it have worked if it had made contact?
Not in like melting, but there would have been an opportunity because they don't feel pain, which was true. So there would have been an opportunity for insight checks for everybody.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, Will did message me saying that it won't melt me, but I really, really do not like it. So if you see the face that I pull, it is one of deep disgust and dismay.
Okay, but to be fair, Marcus then makes a fucking like exact same face to this plan. Which is again why
Avalon's resting face is kind of dismay and disgust. So
work.
Resting disgust.
So yeah,
resting disgust face.
The doors.
I don't think we didn't go over this on the episode. No. So yeah, that was they shunted her off to a separate plane, but their magic is not very precise. And so Avalon had this opportunity to go to 3 different planes. One was, I'm kind of forgetting their names, right? So she went to the Carceri. One was the
Beastlands.
The Beastlands with the dragons. Yes, that was what was behind that door. The one that reminded you of your scales. I don't think
Erebos.
The
was the last one.
Was Erebos?
Isn't Erebos or Ouroboros? It was something like that.
I don't remember. I could pull out the DM's guide and check it out. But the last one is the plane of passion is kind of what it is.
Riley has a lot of feelings about the passion plane.
Tell me about it, because I've actually talked to Riley, I think, more than I've talked to you about the passion plane.
Talk to Riley?
Yeah, so because all of them were so cool. Also, I love a door. I love a door in D&D. Oh, I did it in the Western. Love putting 3 doors in front of a character and being like, which one, bestie? So fun. It's always so narratively good. Because Will was saying about, you were saying about the passion plane, it's like it's about like desires and like passion and kind of, and so I love, you had said that one idea you had was that like you don't lose spell points. So it's kind of like a rage room possibility.
Yeah.
But something I was really thinking about, because it's a passion plane, is like, what if you open the door and then like you open the door and it looks like the real world, but Augustus is there and he is so first of all beautiful as usual, but
so
like
shirtless, so rippling,
but just like there's somebody like an Augustus who is like ready, willing, and eager to like be whatever Avalon desires in that moment. And the reason that, and everybody laughs, everybody's like, haha, but the reason I love this trope is because it's like, it first of all, you can't deny that you have some feelings, that you have thought about this in some capacity, and whatever you've been trying to push down is now in front of you and you have to face it. But I also just love the trope of like, this is a thing that maybe you want. Is this the way you want it? Is this real? Is this like, you could kiss Passion Plane Augustus, who again does not exist, is fully just of my own machinations. I don't want to make canon in the world, but like you could have him. You could have the boy you love in some capacity. Does it mean anything here? You know, and like I love that trope. And I also just think that Augustus should get to be suave and hot all the time. I love goofy little Augustus, let me be so clear. I don't want to change him, but I will never forget seeing Augustus for the first time in the backyard, and he was like, hey Avalon, and I was like, who is this guy? Who is this one? And then he was like reading alone and brooding at the gala, and I was like, oh my god. And then he was like, I do origami, and I was like, wow, what a beautiful man.
he has so many layers.
How would Avalon have felt about that if you want to share?
I think it is very much of I don't think, I mean, maybe she would have been shocked probably.
You're so
Um,
flustered right now.
What?
I said you're so flustered right now. You're stuttering.
I have to get really in character. That's what she would have done. She probably would have stuttered, as she's one to do around him usually. But I also don't think that like it's basically the thing that you were saying at the beginning, Riley, is that I don't think she realizes it, and I also not sure if it's like fully at like passion level. That's how passion works, right?
That's the same.
And of that. So I think it would have just been a lot of like
So,
um
so then why were you called to the Carcery? Why? Because that seemed, at least to me, like an easy decision for you. Kind of immediately went for it.
yeah, true. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I was pretty discombobulated from having been playing the imposter,
Very
and so
fair.
like
Yeah.
so I was like, what's going on? Um and it was truly that there was a scream from someone that I thought maybe I knew, that it was just a knee-jerk reaction of like, well, she has to go into that one
And it
Yeah.
was
to
Aster.
try yeah.
Aster,
Well,
more
and
like
what's weird is that like the
bastard.
first
Go
thing she
fuck
tries to do is
yourself.
she's mad about it, but she like tries to help him, but she's mad about it, but like she tries to, and that's an interesting thing that I have to go into more maybe.
Yeah, Aster. How long were you sitting on that one, buddy?
Not as long as you might think.
Good.
But from before this session, it was
Yeah.
So you're telling me there was a chance for Aster starting the Nine Hells?
There
you
was.
Want, you
Yes.
want Aster Nine Hells?
There
Oh yeah,
was.
because didn't you say that you had thought about both of Clayton and my
I consider both of your ideas, both of them very thoroughly, I think. But the Carcery was just too perfect. It says like in the DMG, it's like for the backstabbers of the world.
Yes, okay. For a second,
Yeah.
I thought maybe Aster had gotten a hold of a deck and gotten
Gotcha. Because in an
pulled in
old
there.
campaign that we were in together,
Traumatized.
yes, a character got sent to the Carcery from drawing from the deck.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. It was crazy that it was Aster. I rewatched that scene, and again, when it's good whenever my mic fully cuts out. Like y'all can't hear it. I screamed. Like it was so good. And now we have to deal with that. Emil has to deal with that because Emil's there.
I love a good like I'll do it, like just like a turnaround. I'll do it, especially after Cleo kind of takes a little while deciding, not that that's a bad thing, but just like is seriously weighing all of the options, and Emil just turns around and says, let me go, and he come back.
What a baller move, honestly.
Yeah, it was. I'll also say that moment. So I rolled the fucking bubble thing on the wild surge, and I was like, oh,
Yes.
it's always so funny, the ones that you think are duds. And like, not that like things are necessarily duds, but there are definitely a few that like on paper look more like meaty. You're like, oh, like this is a moment, versus ones where you're like, oh, this is something that happens. And the pink bubbles is all like not being able to talk has always been one that I've been like, oh, like that's something that would just kind of happen for a minute and would be kind of like funny or whatever, and then we'd move on. And then it's actually happening, and I was like, oh, this is the worst. I got sent to hell 2 days ago, and this is the worst I've ever felt.
Seriously? This is
I
worse
think-
than hell?
I think for Marcus, like
Elemental
Marcus felt more helpless in that moment than he did in hell, and he felt pretty fucking helpless in hell. Yeah. Because Cleo's literally like, and I don't want to speak for Sarah, but Sarah texted me and was like, I think Cleo knows that Marcus is the only one who would have been able to talk her out of it. And I think Cleo knew that because Marcus couldn't fucking talk, this was her only chance to do something like that. And I was like, this sucks.
What was Guy's thinking in that moment of decision?
I do not remember this whole past session. I think I was in frantic mode trying to figure everything out, so I don't remember too much. I do remember wanting to do the I'll go thing, because like I feel like everyone probably thought that. If that's not unfair to say, I feel like that sort of decision in that scenario, everyone at least thinks it. I didn't know what to do, and Emil spoke first.
Yeah.
Gaius froze. Clayton froze.
We talked shortly after, like I think literally just like walking out after the session, that you were the one like most face to face with the hags, and we probably had the most conversation with them as well. And I remember something you said that I thought was fun, specifically about these hags, was that you didn't know what they wanted, so any choice you made could have been the wrong choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a lot of what happened that session, because this is a thing, and it's why I like strategic villains, or like villains in media, because I love the mystery of it all, in the way of like, and it got me. I got by the own thing I like, which is, okay, I don't know what they want. So because when Gaius was attacking them, it was like they're not reacting, and some of them are even reacting like positively. So it's like, okay, so do I stop attacking them? Do they want me to attack them?
Yeah.
But then, is that a bluff? Do they want me to stop attacking them, so they make me think I want to?
Yeah.
Just the back and forth, and just cause paralysis, and it fucking worked.
Yeah. I'll also just say really quickly, say like, oh, I'm sure like everybody had the thought of like, oh, I'll go. And again, this is like why it's so like it was so bad for Marcus to be silenced, because Marcus wasn't like, no, I'll go. Marcus was like, no, this isn't how we deal with this. Like, no, we figure out a different, like Marcus's thing was like, we figure out a plan that gets nobody, volunteering and sacrificing. And to be the person with that thought and not be able to talk is like so. And the thing that I was gonna say, because I was so dead, I kept looking at Will. It was like, has it been a minute? You were like, no, and I was like, ah! But the thing that Marcus was gonna say was like, the moment that thing dropped, Marcus was going to be like, we already lost her. Like, we have already lost one person. And then Emil gets taken, and you say the minute is over, and like, what were you gonna say? And I'm like, it doesn't matter what it is too late for what I was going to say. Oh, that's so scary.
Ooh, the way you've just described that, my brain processes images in like specific media, and usually it's movies or like TV show style. That was a manga. The way you described that, of like trying to say it, and then there just being nothing because it's too late. It felt manga to me, and I don't know why. It's just a fun little fact.
Stay tuned for the Sorcerous Origins manga, the anime opening. Hell yeah. I think that's like technically it, because we immediately, my bullet point is the deal and bye Emil, which I didn't mean to rhyme, but yeah, we just end and you take Emil, and then you're like, next session, guys.
I'm so excited for the next session. It's gonna be very, very fun.
There's more.
Hopefully, well, yeah.
But with that, we can go on to the last thing, and Clayton kind of brushed on it earlier, so it is a lovely little coincidence. But viewer question: Maya did such a great job as the imposter. How would the other players / characters handle that role? And Maya, how would you have tried to suss the face sorcerer out? And that is from Emmanuel. Thank you, Emmanuel.
Oh, Emmanuel.
Oh, work. Maya, do you want to go first, just in terms of like, did you like looking at your spells or whatever, anything? Were you like, oh, this is how I would have tried to like figure out?
Honestly, like I don't really have any spells that would have helped in sussing someone out. So I think it would have been a lot of if it hadn't been me, we would have done a lot more talking, I think. Yeah.
I just want to throw this out here for the viewers, listeners. It was decided by a dice roll. I messaged the chat and was like, "Hey, can someone roll a d6 for me?"
You messaged somebody else first and just asked them to pick,
and he refused.
They didn't.
He washed his hands of it.
Chat, which is so. Yeah, and but didn't they? It was Jake. Jake rolled and also got Avalon.
Also,
right
yeah,
afterwards.
yeah.
So the dice just really wanted it to be.
It's always gonna be Avalon.
Yeah.
And
so how would you guys have tried to fake the party out?
Clayton, do you want to go first?
Gosh, sure. I truly don't know. I can never think of like hypotheticals of that situation, because I feel like I was more suspicious not as the imposter.
Yeah, you kind of did it, King.
So like I feel like if I had done exactly what I did, I probably might have been fine. Although it was a little obvious, but it was like obvious in this is the obvious choice, so it's probably not. But I feel like I would be too nervous. I probably would have flubbed it up. I would be nervous of like specifically the zone of truth of Maya played it off with just like a shake of the head. I feel like I would have been like, Will, I can't speak a deliberate lie. Right.
Yeah, Dad. Can I ask Will, what was the simulacrum's goal?
To cause fear.
Yeah.
Fuck, I think I literally like talked to Sarah or something where I had, and I feel like it was so smart and good when I said it, and I don't remember what it was, but like trying to think of like if the idea is to cause fear, like, oh God, I don't know. This is what was so hard too, is like you, and again, I think Maya did a good job of like, you want to be true to the character, but also the character being possessed by another character, and like and I almost feel like the thing that is coming to me right now is like, what's a way to cause fear? Something that I've been talking to Will about for reasons, is the fact that like Marcus doesn't panic normally. Marcus looks at a lot of things in the face and like mouths off to them, and like I think that if you can keep that up, you can bottle the fear and the panic a little bit and like keep that below and deal with the situation at hand. And so the first thing that is coming to me in this moment is like, if the goal is to cause fear, have Marcus like panic a little bit more, like have that rock tilt a little bit, and like have there are multiple people in the party who, you know, can move forward, but I think have the person in the party who a lot of the time is very much like, okay, let's just like figure it out and let's move on. If you slowly start to have him seem like he is losing it a little bit, I feel like that could be a scary moment. But yeah,
that's a really cool tactic.
I'm so glad it wasn't me though. I would have cried. I would have cried. I would have been so upset. So it all worked out. Oh, I have one last question for you, Will. Would the doors have been the same no matter what, no matter who was chosen, or like was the Beastlands in there because it was Avalon and stuff?
Probably would have been different per character.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sick.
Passion Room might have always been in there. That's a good one for everybody.
Yeah. That middle one, a little rotation.
Like, so maybe the middle
Passion.
one, yeah, because Carceria was definitely always going to be there. So yeah.
Carceria, Passion, personal.
Yeah.
Well,
imagine how fucked up it would be if Marcus got picked and it was the fucking fire plane.
No, Will, you know what it could be though?
It would have been something to do with your origin. It would have been
Pandemonium. Could be the Chaos Plane.
Could be. Yeah, that'd be good.
with that,
A good operation. We did it. We saved you.
Good
There.
operation. I'm so
We
glad
can
you
now
said that.
return to the 20th century.
Yeah.
The 20th? Oh
The-
no, it's a century
yeah.
off.
I was about to go the opposite. I was about to have our first death on the operating table just for
No.
fun. Just be like, we did our
No.
best. And the operation, we didn't do anything wrong. The operation went perfectly. Sometimes God just takes an angel before,
That's gotta be
you can
the
stop him.
next the op table after the next PC death.
No,
Knock on wood.
no.
No, that'll never happen. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
But